the top 10 biggest snitches on 60 Days In. At number 10 is Angel from season 4. She went there trying to set other people up, but she must have forgot it was 60 Days In and thought it was Love Island, because she was trying to hook up with the prisoners there and only trying to set up herself. At number 9 is Tammy from season 1, a police officer. And when you look like a cop, talk like a cop, and even smell like a cop, they're going to know you're a cop. And they did. And although she was unsuccessful in finding any drugs or shanks, she did acquire a ton of information about others by eavesdropping, like a stool pigeon would. At number 8 is Alan from season 4, another police officer. He was there looking for drugs and shanks and information about others, and he was successful in doing so. And he played the perfect role of a snitch, considering the fact he was already the police anyway. At number 7 is Ashley from season 6, yet another police officer who went in there to be a paid informant and set other people up, all while under audio and video surveillance, and that she did very well. At number 6 is Zach from season 1. He was an aspiring police officer who went there as training to set up other grown men who are facing time away from their family, friends, and loved ones for your entertainment. Now, I don't know if he ever made it as a police officer, but he did make one hell of a snitch. At number 5 is Dennis from season 6, and he said that prisoners have it too easy and should be subjected to harsher conditions. So he went there trying to set other people up, all while under audio and video surveillance. And he was successful in finding a shank, or should I say a nail, that was bought by the money that the producers provided him with. He also found a very minuscule amount of a controlled substance, making him one of the biggest snitches on 60 Days In history. At number 4 is Carlos from season 7, a small man who acted big on camera. He was in there trying to pick fights with others, all while under audio and video surveillance, and with the team on standby that can save him, and admitted on camera to paying an 18-year-old kid noodles to send him off and do his dirty work because he didn't want to catch a real assault charge. He was in there writing statements on others, right in front of other prisoners. He broke the handicap stall in the shower to fabricate and manufacture a shank because nobody would sell him one. He couldn't find any drugs in this particular jail because there were really no drugs there. So the only ones that he could acquire were psychiatric medications that others needed. And the sheriffs and the producers told him not to do so. Yet he continued to do so and buy them with money that the producers provided him with. Ultimately, he was taking that same medication to get high with, and they removed him from the show, making him not only one of the biggest snitches on 6 Days In history, but also one of the weirdest. At number 3 is David from season 5, yet another police officer who was looking for drugs and shanks and information about others, and he was a master manipulator in making all those people think that he was something that he wasn't. At number 2 is Abner from season 5, a former so-called gang member that was there to gather intelligence for the sheriff, along with look for drugs and shanks, and he preyed on the young and weak. Ultimately, he put his hands on a young man, and then later cried on camera saying they reminded him of his son. He left the show, ultimately, because he said he was in fear for his life. At number 1 is Tony from season 6. He's a correctional officer, and ultimately, he went into jail to look for drugs and shanks and gather intelligence. And he made the correctional officers look stupid. He even made the other inmates look stupid. And he found more drugs and more shanks than any other inmate in the history of the show 60 Days In, making him the epitome of a tough Tony and the biggest snitch in 60 Days In history.